The next thing you need to know to configure your workspace and to make sure that it's working well with Go is that you need to have a folder which is your Go workspace. It could be, some people do it with multiple folders. I do not recommend this. Nor, I remember reading somewhere, somewhat official, maybe completely official, they recommend just one folder. So start out until you become more skilled with Go with just a single folder, which is going to be your Go workspace. I recommend even calling it Go Workspace. Just create a folder somewhere in Documents, call it Go Workspace, and that's going to be your workspace folder. And then when you create that folder, inside that folder you're going to have 3 more folders, bin, package, and source, named just like that. And then inside source you're going to have a folder called github.com with the dot. And then inside that folder you're going to have your github.com username. So if you haven't signed up for GitHub yet, you need to go create an account at GitHub. Pretty straightforward to do that. But you can see here that my github.com username is goes to 11. Just from an old Rob Reiner movie called This is Spinal Tap. If you haven't seen it, it's funny. It's worth watching. And you might YouTube, Spinal Tap goes to 11 just to watch why I thought that was funny. But so you need github.com, you need your GitHub username. And then you can create folders with code for a project, right? You can create a bunch of them underneath that, and each one of those can be a repo initialized, right, as a Git repo. So that's the structure that you need to use when working in Go. And the reason we do that is because that allows package management, easy package management, and namespacing, so that everybody, all the different packages, even if the ultimate package has the same name, the whole path to the package is a completely different name because it's a different username or a different domain or something like that. So let's take a look at my workspace. And, I do all my development on a Mac. So I'm just on Windows because I'm not totally sure why. I just started recording on Windows, but maybe I'll switch over part way through. So you'll see some Windows, you'll see some Mac. And here inside Documents, I called my folder Go Code. Like I said, Go Workspace is what I'd go for. And then inside I have my source, my package, my bin folder. And then inside my source folder, I have my github.com folder. There's a few other folders in here, but there's my github.com folder. And then inside that, there's other usernames in there, right? But here's goes to 11. And then inside that, I've got GoLang training. So you can see up here, Go Code, that's my workspace, source, github.com, goes to 11, GoLang training. Right, like that would be I'm not sure what the official name is for this, but that's like the full qualified import path. GitHub.com goes to 11, GoLang training, and then I'd import that entire thing and I'd have all that code to draw from. So that's how you namespace. And what's that mean, namespacing? So let me just sort of give you an illustration. So let's say that I go to godoc.org. I'm looking for a third-party package. I'm looking for some code somebody wrote. And currently, I was noticing as I went through here that I have Julian Schmidt, I have GoLang something, I have NF, whatever that is, right? But I don't have the UUID from New7Hatch. and you might be like, what's New7Hatch? It's just like a guy who wrote a UUID package, and that's his GitHub username. Right, so we could actually go check them out. We could go to we could copy this, and we could just go to that URL, and we can see about it. We can say, hey, who's New7Hatch? This guy right here, man. Thank you very much for writing the UUID thing. Who knows if that's even real? Like this guy has no commits or what? So anyhow, but I grabbed this guy. And I go look at the documentation, and it says, hey, if you want to import this, that's the way you would import it. So I want this code. I want to use it, let's say, right? I grab that, qualified package name. I think that might be what you call it. I go to my git shell, and then I could use a go command. So there's a bunch of go commands, and you can see them if you just type in go, right? Like here are all the different go commands. So we ran go version, right? Go command, right? And so the commands are this. We ran go version, it gave us the version. Another one we could run is go git. And so when we go git, it's going to go download and install packages and dependencies. So I could type in go git, and then paste in, and I'm cursing under my breath here, Windows, I got to go edit, paste. Are you kidding me? And paste in that fully qualified package name, and then it's going and getting it. And if it's something that needs to execute, it's installing it, right? And so now when I go and I look at my workspace in my folder, I have a new one here, new 7 hatch, and then inside new 7 hatch, go UUID, and there is all the code that I need for writing my program. So we saw at the GoLang playground, right, that if I wanted to use some code, I would put the import statement right there. So if this was like my desktop editing environment and not the Go playground, which is sending it to a server somewhere else, right? If this was my desktop editing environment, I could then import github.com new 7 hatch go UUID, and I could use this package name in my code. I think it's like that, right? There's some new v4 or something like that. And so I'd have the package name, and then I'd have some function inside that package name, and I'd be able to use that package, that code, right in my code. And so that when you're using a third-party package, you have to have the fully qualified name, versus if you're using just the standard library, then the standard library, you could just use that last part, the fund. So that's like, pretty awesome stuff. Like, okay, this workspace, just organizing it in this one way, really allows us to have name spacing so that everybody's got a fully qualified name to packages, which is different. And then we could use go-get to do package management and just bring code down to our computer and use it. So some people squeak a little bit. They don't like being told how to organize their stuff, right? Some students, graduate students in computer science or whatever, when they first see that, they're like, what? I want to do it my way. But I think the benefit of everybody conforming a little bit just to this one sort of structure, there's a lot of really great benefits, and it's awesome package management, awesome ability to go get code, and it keeps everybody's code fully qualified names different. So that's how you have to organize your Go workspace. I will say one last thing here about the Go workspace. So here's my Go code. So we have source, right, which is like my source code, so all the source code. But then we also have bin and package. So bin is for my binary. I actually have some binary in there, so I could execute this and it'll run. It ran, but it ran so fast we didn't see it. And then in package, when I build a package that I want to use that isn't a standalone executable, but it's just something I want to include, it'll create, I don't know, I haven't done that. Maybe it did. It creates an A file right here. I think that's an archive file. Pretty sure that's what that stands for. Like 97% certainty it's an archive file. But that's like already sort of precompiled package that's ready to go. And so anyhow, that's a little bit about your workspace. Make sure you have a folder that's your workspace, and you set your source package bin to it, in those 3 folders inside of it, and then you have your source folder, and then github.com, and then your username, and then you can start creating folders in here for your different projects. And if you use Git, this is where you initialize your repos right inside here. So those are your workspaces. And in the next one, we'll see how we have to configure. In the next video, we'll see how we have to configure environment path variables to map we have to have a path variable mapped to our workspace. So that's another really important reason to have it set up this way.